Law of duty in operation. Eternal consciousness is whole and complete. Therefore, it does not have duties as we know them. Revealed in humanity. Our duties arise out of incompleteness because we are responsible for returning to wholeness. Duties come into existence when we assume a station, when we are noticeably at variance with law, or when we have yet to fulfill the actions of a situation. For example, if you get a ticket because you are at variance with municipal law, then your duty is to pay the ticket or state your case in court. Similarly, spiritual duties arise from being out of integrity with laws of being. For example, if someone speaks to you in confidence and you gossip about them to others, then you have a duty to learn honesty, non-interference, and compassion. If you continue to experience incompletion in fulfilling a duty, expect a call from karma. Duty is what you owe to be complete. The incompletion, karma, or destiny involves what you have left pending or undone with people and/or other beings such as animals. When you owe, you acquire duty in accordance with laws of being. For example, if you knowingly create chaos and upset, it will be your duty to return to order, balance, and harmony. Responsibility mitigates duty because responsibility is lessened when there is a lack of learning. Time, place, and condition are taken into account when duties are revealed. For example, if you innocently cause disruption, then your duty for correction will be significantly less than if you deliberately obstruct well-being. If we would all freely do our duties without, quote, fear of punishment or hope of reward, as Harold W. Percival says in Thinking and Destiny, we would all be more effective in this world. Instead of blaming and complaining, we can discover our responsibilities and duties and fulfill them, allowing life to flow more smoothly for all involved. People sometimes have individual duties that are operative at the group level. In other words, each individual has their own unique duties as part of a family, an organization, or a society. Properly fulfilling duties provides order and contributes to the effective operation of the group. Remember that duties derive from conscience and not from human guilt or manipulation. One reason people do not complete duties or fulfill responsibilities is because they are attached to their personal agendas instead of focusing on conscience. Resolving duties results in being free from attachment. When you properly address your duties, your free will becomes activated. For will to be truly free, you must operate without attachment. Otherwise, your desires control or constrict you. This is why free will can be confusing or difficult to understand. When you are driven by human desires, or when you are operating from ego, personality, nature, mind, or human senses, then you are not truly free. However, when you are operating from awareness of oneness or eternal consciousness, then you are free because you are not driven by your limited personal self. The way to reclaim free will is to bring yourself into alignment with laws of being. Through spiritual progress, you learn to exercise more free will than when you are driven by human desires. When you operate freely without attachment, then you have the ability to see what will incur if you follow certain paths. This explains why advanced spiritual masters live simply. They are aware of their duties in any given situation, and they do not take on new duties lightly. Instead, they avoid distractions and complications and consciously incur duties with insight and awareness. Antithesis. The antithesis of duty is lacking responsibility, authority, and permission in the matter. The antithesis of completing duties is ignoring, procrastinating, avoiding, or being obstinate about fulfilling your responsibilities. Not finding the proper way to fulfill duties as given by conscience is a source of great disharmony in people's lives. Application: how to fulfill your duties. You have duties in this life. Embrace this fact. Minimize complaining, stop running away, and quit trying to dictate what you think your duties should be. Your duties derive from your responsibilities, and your responsibilities derive from whatever is incomplete in your learning. Take time to listen to eternal wisdom and divine guidance to discern the actions to take to nurture well-being. Seeing many possibilities can be overwhelming, and moving from possibility to possibility takes the effort of thinking. Gain clarity to reduce possibilities. Pause and ask, what is the situation here? Become an observer to promote your connection with being, which allows understanding. Gain clarity about next actions by being open to what conscious light reveals in the moment. It is effective to fulfill your duties willingly. If you are not clear about your duties in the moment, ask someone who is competent and knowledgeable. For spiritual matters, consult your conscience. Recognize that trying to fulfill your calling based on your ego and personal preferences will likely be problematic. Instead, access guidance from universal wisdom and then take effective action. While possibly disruptive in the short term, following your conscience will ultimately result in harmony. Fulfilling your duties is like paving a road. It takes time and effort, and people may be disrupted during the process. However, completion creates a smoother path in life. Completing duties means fulfilling responsibilities no more and no less than needed. Failing to act when action is required is a violation of the law of duty. On the other hand, doing more than your duty can violate the law of non-interference and hinder other people's progress. Assisting other people involves levels of permission. Practice patience, avoid applying undue pressure, and allow people the opportunities they need for their growth and learning. You are not required to do anything in your life outside of your responsibilities and duties, and everything that you need to fulfill them is available to you. Duties do not disappear if left unattended. They persist until completed. The only punishment is a feeling of not doing what you are called to do, which results in restlessness and dissatisfaction. Doing your duties does not mean surrendering your sovereignty and well-being to anyone else.